66. Yeah, that was a good year. That was the year I was born. And these little galoshes, I think they went through all three of my brothers and myself. It's a rainy, drippy morning, kind of cool. And we are going to talk today about how we can enjoy our retirement on a limited income. Some people struggle trying to figure out what to do with themselves in retirement on a low income, while other people long for the days when they worked and felt like they had a purpose. Retirement is not the end of the road. It's the beginning of a whole new journey and a whole new chapter in our life. Today we're going to sit back and discuss 7 easy habits that you can learn to enrich your retirement. Today I decided to pull out my old-fashioned electric coffee percolator and make coffee, and it makes it so much better. I may not go back to the new type. It's really, really good. It's that slow brew. I don't even know how to describe it, but really, really good. So today we are going to talk about ways that we can learn to enrich our lives when we retire. They say that we spend our whole life working to retire and working to live. And then we spend our retirement trying to learn how to live without working. So it is hard for some of us because a lot of us have spent so many years rushing around, getting kids to appointments or getting kids to events, going to the kids' events, getting the household operating and running while we're trying to work a job or 2 or 3. And when we go to an empty nest and then we slip into retirement and maybe we're spending some days alone, like I spend a lot of days alone. My husband chose not to retire yet and I was ready. So I had to learn how to be alone and how to enjoy myself. And you guys helped me with that so much. I never feel alone because I have all of you. But I have found different ways that I wanted to share with you that I have learned to enrich my life through retirement. So whether you are retired, thinking about retirement, or thinking about taking some time off from work, I hope that this video will be helpful to you. I think more than ever, we all dream about having days off and retiring early. Things are so hectic, more hectic than they've ever been. Places are short-staffed. Employees are being pushed to their max to sometimes do their job and part of another job or 2 jobs because of shortages. And because of that, people are feeling more pressure than ever when they're holding down jobs, trying to maintain a home, trying to pay their bills, and trying to raise a family. Someone told me at the 55 and over community this summer that retirement is the best job they ever had. It's just the worst paying one. So I think with that in mind, these tips will help those of us that are either on a low income, a fixed income, or a very limited income. And even if you have a lot of money stuck back, this may help you on the days that maybe you feel like you're not wanting to go anywhere, do anything. Not every day in retirement can be packed full of excitement and travel and eating out. There needs to be some downtime because after all, we've worked our entire life to earn this relaxation time, and we need to be able to work that into our schedule to enjoy that to its fullest. People will say that you need to retire to something, that you need to retire to volunteerism or retire to part-time work or something to make yourself feel useful. I guess maybe that's the YouTube channel for me, but it's more of a socialization for me. I don't look at it as something that I retired to. I look at it as a way for me to have pen pals by social media. And so that is something that has enriched my life. But if you are not someone who has all of these part-time things going on and you're looking for ways to enjoy your retirement because you've been go, 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 and now all of a sudden you're not going anywhere, let's talk about those 7 top tips. The first one I have is to practice doing nothing. And yes, you heard me right. Practice doing nothing and learn how to really take that in and enjoy that. We've spent so much time in our lives running and rushing and dreaming about times that we could just have a day off to do nothing. And then the days that we would have off, we were either doing dishes, doing laundry, catching up with the house, running errands, going to appointments. We didn't have those days off where we could just kick back and do nothing and appreciate it. So learning how to take that in and enjoy that time off is so important. I feel like this is the first step to really being able to enjoy the other 6 tips, is to learn how to do nothing and be okay with that. Number 2 is to practice being content. We spend a lot of our lives striving to get the next thing, whether it's a house or a car, prepare for a baby, prepare for the child's college. There's so many things that we spend time working towards. And once we are retired, we don't have all of those huge goals unless we do have a travel event or something like that coming up, then we can focus on that. But sometimes it's just everyday life. And we need to learn different ways to be content in that everyday life by recognizing everything around us that we've worked for, appreciating that, feeling proud of the fact that we have what we need, and feeling comfort in the fact that everything we need has now been provided for. Number 3, practice days where we have low spend or no spend in our schedule. Not every day can be days that we're spending money, because not every day are days that we're bringing in money anymore in retirement. Many of us may only be getting a monthly check. Some of us may be getting a couple of checks throughout that month that are maybe way smaller than what we were used to. So we have to learn to find days that are low spend or no spend, so that the days that we do spend do not cripple our budget. Number 4, learn how to enjoy your home life and simplicity. This kind of wraps around the first 2 that we talked about in being content and learning how to do nothing. I have found since I've retired that I appreciate so much more than I did when I was working, because I was too busy to notice things. I told my husband the other day, I now notice all of the birds tweeting. I don't think I ever noticed that before. I was rushed. They were background noise. I didn't really pay attention. Now I hear the birds. Now I see the grass. I see the flowers. I see the leaves on the trees. I see the streams. I notice absolutely everything in appreciation that I felt like I was too rushed before to really fully take it in and appreciate it. Even rainy days bring me comfort and bring me joy. I know that they're going to help my garden grow. I know that I don't have to water the flowers today, and that pitter patter on the roof is a comfort to me, because I know I don't have to go anywhere and I don't have to get wet. I don't have to get my shoes wet. All of those things are things that are part of the simple life of retirement that we can appreciate. Number 5 is a hard one for many people. Learn how to not feel guilty about not working. Many people will feel guilty. They'll have other friends say to them, wow, I wish I could retire. You're so lucky you retired. And if you retired early like me, I hear that a lot from a lot of different people in my surrounding. They'll assume that I'm older because I retired. They'll assume that I'm 62 or that I'm 65. And sometimes that bothers me a little bit for them to assume I'm older than I am just because I said I retired early. But again, I feel like if we remind ourselves that we did our time, I worked 40 years. I did my time. Many of those 40 years were 2 or 3 jobs while raising a family, while doing everything in the household. So I need to remind myself that I don't need to feel guilty about not working. This is my time. I earned it. Number 6, learn how to enjoy your hobbies again. So many of us have stopped having time to read or to sew or to take walks or to focus on our health. Just little things that we would like to have worked in our schedule when we were working and we couldn't figure out how to do it. Now I can work those things into my schedule. I can wake up in the morning and say, wow, what do I want to do today? Do I have anything I want to accomplish? Do I want to do some of my hobbies? I finished on our camping trip this dresser scarf. I had started it in Texas and I finished it this weekend when I was at the lake. And I can't even tell you how old this is. This is probably 15 years old or older, but I never had time to sit down and work on it. These are the kinds of things I'm talking about. I think we all have stuff like this that we wanted to spend the time to do if we ever had time, and then we just sat it to the side, knowing that we were too booked up to do it. It feels really good to accomplish things like that after waiting so long to find the time to do it. So maybe sit down and make a list of things that you've wanted to do for so long and you haven't had the time. Are there things around your house, little projects, little craft things you want to do, books you've wanted to read? If you're like me, I have a stack of books that I want to read when I have the time. Those are things I'm going to be tackling as I'm moving further into retirement. I'm currently reading a couple of books that I probably got for Christmas maybe 3 to 4 years ago, but I hadn't had the time to read them. And then number 7, I feel is so important for those of us on a low income, a limited income, maybe one check a month. We need to find ways to stick extra money back when we have it and then just forget about it until there's something we really want. So often when we're on limited incomes and we get a little bit of money in, we're rushing out to get all of those things that were maybe on our wish list. And maybe by now, some of those things on the wish list, we've figured out other ways around. We really don't need them anymore or want them anymore. And that money could be spent for somewhere that we really want down the line. So sticking that money back and saving it when something comes up and you really want to go and spend that money, then you have it and you don't have to figure out how to come up with it. Those little saving habits are still really important even in retirement. For instance, my oldest grandson is graduating from his training in the Army after his boot camp. It's called the AIT training. And then he will be shipped to Alaska to be stationed there. So we are going to be taking a trip to Georgia here very soon to attend his graduation and spend a couple of days with him before he gets sent to Alaska. And because we have saved like that, we have those funds available to be able to fly there, have housing, have a rental car, and fly home. Those are the kinds of things I'm talking about. We can't always plan what is going to happen, because we don't always know what our other families' plans are. And sometimes these things come up and we really want to go. And I've heard from other grandparents that things like this have come up, but they just don't have the funds to go to them. Because we stick extra back, that's how we're able to still do those things. So I hope this video has been helpful to you if you're thinking about retirement, if you're close to retirement, if you're thinking about taking maybe 6 months or a year off. All of these things apply. We don't want to quit our jobs, feel totally lost, feel discouraged, feel like we made a mistake, and be looking for employment again. These things are important for us to learn how to live a full, abundant, productive life and still not have to punch in and punch out 9 to 5. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope to see you in the next one. If you would like to help out this channel, I do have 2 Depression era cookbooks that I've linked in the description box that I've written of our family's favorites, along with other things that I use to save money on a day-to-day basis. I hope to see you soon.